What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Brian Edwards, this is Jay Greeson, and this is our Cincinnati at Utah Give Me Two preview because we started last week doing some non-SEC.
Like 16. What do I? Oh, I see what you're doing here. Okay.
Utah.
Explain it to the people. Are we? Is this like a preemptive look towards expansion?
No, Utah. Give me two meatball sandwiches. You know what I'm talking about? The bank robbery.
Yeah.
Utah, make sure you give me two sandwiches, meatball sandwiches. Yeah. Yes.
Point Break, right?
There we go. Yeah. All right. So the reason why, we're doing the non-SEC games because we're just giving SEC fans some teams you might be on the lookout for in the CFP, and so therefore let's give you the Big 12 conference standings. We have BYU and Cincy at the top, 5-0. Then we've got Houston and Texas Tech, 4-1. Utah, ASU, KSU, and TCU at 3-2. So Cincy at Utah this week. Before we get there, we are presented by FanDuel and GameTime. SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, plus over 350 more universities. Everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, and 40-ounce bottles and shaker cups. SE16, SE, not C, SE16 for the 20% discount to viewers. All right, FanDuel has Utah minus 8.5 to Cincinnati, and the Bearcats are plus 255 on the money line. The total is 55.5 in the first quarter. The Utes are favored by 2.5 at a minus 114 price in the first half. The Utes are minus 5.5, minus 112. All right. Cincy, 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. They are 2-0 both straight up and against the spread in a pair of road games. But as a road underdog under Scott Satterfield, they're only 4-5-1 ATS. But they have ripped off 7 straight wins since a 20-17 loss to Nebraska at Arrowhead and KC, which is basically a road game in terms of fan support. Brendan Sorsby has been the story for the Bearcats. 7th best quarterback rating in the country, 65.2 completion percentage, 1,843 yards, a 20-1 TDI and T ratio, and 425 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 6.2 yards per carry average. Why he's not getting mentioned more for the Heisman has been baffling me for weeks. Now, on the Utah side of things, Devin Dampier, the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year last season at New Mexico under Bronco Mendenhall, transferred to Utah, but he's got an ankle injury, and he missed last week's game, and the true freshman, Bird Ficklin, stepped in and balled out. Now, his passing stats weren't great, 10 of 22, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, but his rushing stats were elite, 151 rushing yards on 20 attempts and 1 touchdown. So Kyle Whittingham addressed the media yesterday, and here's his quote. We'll see how practice goes. It's only Monday, obviously. Practice cranks back up tomorrow, and he's certainly feeling better each day, talking about Dampier. But really, we'll just have to see how he progresses and where that goes. And if he's not ready, then we know Bird is ready to go again if needs be. So we don't know who's playing quarterback for Utah here on Tuesday morning. So what's up, Jay?
Not much, buddy. What we do know is, as you mentioned, Sorsby's playing quarterback for Cincinnati. And, pardon me, just looking big picture on how good these teams have been, even in the tumultuous realm that is college football in 2025, where, I mean, man, oh man, you can get – your apple cart can get dumped by just about anybody on any given Saturday. There are 2 teams in this league that have scored more than 310 points, and they're on the field Saturday. There are 2 teams in this league who have yet to allow through 8 games 120 points, and they're on the field Saturday. So while BYU and Texas Tech may be ranked ahead in terms of the polls and the perception, Cincinnati and Utah have been on the field as complete as any team in the Big 12. And I know we're a Southeastern 16 operation. So I think we start here in this conversation. Every team, every fan of every SEC team that still has aspirations for the playoffs, and I think there are honestly 10 of them in the league, that if you win out, you're going to be waiting with bated breath on that Sunday when the final bracket is announced. If you fancy yourself among that group, you desperately need Utah to win, because the worst thing that could happen to the SEC is two Big 12 teams. Like, let's say Cincinnati and BYU, both 5-0 in the league, BYU 8-0, or Texas Tech, who's 7-1, or even Houston, who's playing better, is 7-1. You can't have the SEC fans cannot have an unbeaten BYU against a one-loss Big 12 team in the conference championship. Now, not knowing the exact inner workings of all the schedules, because with all these unbalanced schedules now, who knows what's possible and allowable, you know?
Right.
So,
well, Cincinnati does host BYU November 22nd. Just FYI, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, and then you're also going to get in the case, what happens if Cincinnati wins this game and then at home beats BYU by a field goal, and then on a neutral site loses to BYU by a field goal? Look, the SEC fandom.
So what we don't want is BYU and Houston playing each other, because they don't play. We don't want Houston and BYU to win out, because Houston at home to West Virginia this week, win at UCF on a short week on a Friday. We'll see, but probably a win. Then they get 2 weeks to prepare for TCU. TCU goes at Houston, and let's see what TCU has the week before. Oh, TCU's at BYU the week before, so it's back-to-back road situation, and Houston has 2 weeks to prepare for TCU. So you got to like their chances at home there, and then Houston at Baylor. So Houston could win out, and BYU could win out.
The worst-case scenario for the SEC is unbeaten BYU against any of the one-loss teams, and that's Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and then Houston are the one-loss teams. So the desire here is Utah to create carnage. And if you're paying attention to the Big 12, and I know you and I gamble, so we can offer what we think about the line, and if you want to have a vested interest in it at the end. Another thing that would behoove SEC fans is for Baylor or Arizona State to start knocking off some of these top-tier teams, because two of the teams out of the SEC running in Mississippi State and Auburn already have wins over those teams, and that hurts the image of the conference.
Right. Here's another thing about Utah. So they lose at home to Texas Tech. They lose by 3 at BYU. Their 6 wins are all by 25 points or more. So they do have 2 losses, but they've given out 6 pimp slaps, including against Arizona State at home, although I will note Sam Leavitt did not play in that game. All right. It's not just Sorsby. The Bearcats have Evan Pryor, 478 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 7.2 yards per carry. They also have Tawee Walker, 466 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry average. They've got an outstanding linebacker in Jake Golday. They've got an outstanding receiver in Cyrus Allen, 34 catches, 381 yards, and 9 touchdowns, which is second in the nation. But then they have defense too. They are number 28 in the country in scoring defense, giving up only 19 points per game, whereas Utah They are 13th in the nation in total defense, number 8 against the pass, number 9 in scoring D. They only give up 14.3 points per game. They are only 58th in run defense, though. And Cincinnati's got 2 backs and Sorsby, which you can consider a back as well. Here's another gambling stat for you. Whittingham, since 2017, the Utes are 29-15 against the spread. Their last 44 as a home favorite. As for the total, the over's 5-3 overall for Utah, 4-1 at home, and the total's 5-3, or over is 5-3 overall for the Bearcats, and 2-0 on the road. All right, before we get anything you wanted to add before we do some pay some bills and get the predictions?
Well, I think before we get out of here, I just want to give a little more love to Brendan Sorsby. You mentioned the mind-boggling 21-1 TD to INT number. This one also, I mean, look, they've got a good offensive line. They average almost 5. They almost average 6 yards a carry. But this one is so eye-popping 8 games in that a lot of this is on the quarterback's awareness. He's been sacked twice, Brian.
Yeah, no, I saw that. So I can't believe I didn't bring that up.
Twice. I mean, hell, you could trip over an offensive lineman and be sacked on.
That's crazy.
To drop back 206 times and be sacked twice and intercepted once. That's a decision maker in the pocket.
Yeah, that is wild. I love me some Brendan Sorsby, and it's not a new thing. I loved him last year as well, and he was the gamer on that bad Indiana team that got Tom Allen fired, and the greatest coaching hire perhaps in any sport in the last decade with Mr. Signetti. All right, let's tell you about Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and design for meaning. Each piece is handcrafted from solid 14K gold and natural gemstones made to measure for a perfect fit and backed by a lifetime guarantee, because every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized. Knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where our sizing kit comes in. Code SE16KIT will take 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. All right, let's tell you about our friends at ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting, SEC 25 for 25% off, and HOVI dry goods, your new favorite hat. Look no further than HOVI hats for high quality head wear with a great fit and unique designs. Bad beat for 15% off. All right, predictions. You want to go first or you want me to?
I mean, it's really hard to predict this, not knowing who Utah's. Because look, going and kicking the stuffing out of Coach Prime and a bad Colorado team, this is a different beast, even at home for Bird
Ficklin.
So if Dampier's not available, Whittingham's going to have to. Look. I think Cincinnati has got the secret sauce. And I loved your number about Utah, especially at home, and what he's been able to do as a home favorite. Game day is going to be there, so the place will be jacked. But I think Cincinnati's got something special.
You're picking the Bearcats to win outright?
I am.
Wow. I like their chances if Dampier can't play. And I've already bet them to cover. However, I think we're supposed to, on these prediction videos, pick it outright. So therefore, I'm going to pick Utah to win outright, but the Bearcats to cover. And that's where we at. But Jay likes the Bearcats in an upset. By the way, that money line is plus 255 with our friends at FanDuel. All right, for Jay Greeson, I am Brian Edwards. Enjoy Cincy at Utah, 10:15 p.m. Eastern kick during the feel-good hours on ESPN. Over now.